You're good.
Hey everybody, welcome. We're a tiny bit tardy, so I do apologize for that. But we are working on salad sandwiches today and kind of doing like a little remake of those. And by salad, I mean, like chicken salad or tuna salad. Oh, chicken salad, as Andy's holding Delilah. That's awesome.
Hi guys.
Chicken salad, tuna salad, egg salad, all of those kinds of things are what I'm talking about. So salad sandwiches. You can see I've got currently some celery and carrot going on right here. And I am going to make a salad sandwich, but it's going to be a little bit different. There's a twist. There's a plot twist for lunch tomorrow. So I'll get to that in just a second.
How about you tell them what happened with that kitten?
Which kitten?
The big cat rescue kitten. Cinder.
Oh, Cinder. Yeah, holy fish sticks. So I don't want to give too much away, but I will tell you that, because I think Afton's doing some work, so I don't want to give too much away without permission. But I will tell you that the bobcat kitten Cinder was surrendered to the SPCA in Lakeland, which just happens to be the very same SPCA where I am a foster mom for all of my kittens, the kittens that you guys see on the video, the videos and the live feeds that we do, and the videos that we share. Those come from my foster page, but I happened to be at the SPCA where that's where I am fostering. So that just happens to be my local SPCA where my kittens come from and go back to. And speaking of kittens, I took my 6 kittens back yesterday. I was sad. I cried a little bit. Andy will tell you that I got a little teary yesterday morning. But I'm glad that they're going back. I was ready. They were getting big and climbing me like a tree. That room was starting to get too small for them because they were ready. They were ready for more space, and they were ready to find their forever homes. So they will be spayed or neutered depending on their gender. And then they'll go up for adoption. So I'm very excited about that. So while those kiddos are back at the SPCA, I have now picked up 3 more kittens and their mom. And they are currently hanging out in Andy's bathroom. So he has lost his bathroom. And we are now back to sharing a bathroom. So it's not so bad, but boys are stinky. No offense, guys.
Nah.
So this morning Andy and I both went to Big Cat. We had a Big Cat morning. Andy did a feeding tour. He gave the speaking portion of the feeding tour. Since he's not a keeper, so he didn't do the feeding portion of the tour, but he did do the speaking portion. It was his first time doing the speaking portion, and I heard that he did a great job. So that was really exciting, and I'm glad to hear that. He's going to be applying for his green shirt pretty soon on the partner side. So I'm excited about that. And let's see what else happened this morning. I cleaned. I saw some of our Big Cat fans out on the tour path this morning. I saw Marlene, and I saw Deb and Lori. I think those were the 3 ladies that I saw this morning. So we had a pretty good morning. We had a pretty good morning so far, or pretty good day so far, actually. Traffic was kind of crazy on the way home, but what's new? You know, anytime you're in a metropolitan city, traffic is always kind of nutty.
Kathy Ryan says that the Big Cat Rescue has a nest cam on center now.
Oh, fun! Oh, I didn't know that. That's so exciting. Is she out in the rehab or is she in the Bobcat Hospital? Do you know, Miss Kathy? Because I'm curious. She's a
20-second delay. So
she's a Lakeland girl, just like me, which makes me happy. So, trying to think. So tomorrow is my gift shop day. I spend Saturdays in the gift shop. I told Andy and Elisa, our gift shop manager, that when I got promoted to the green level keeper, that I would do my keeper hours during the week, and then on Saturdays I would work in the gift shop and help out in there, because Saturdays are pretty busy in the gift shop, and I know that sometimes Andy and Elisa need extra hands, and so I am really happy to do it because I can actually hang out with Andy and see him, and we get to spend some time together, which is always a good time. And I know Andy likes it because he gets to be my boss. So usually it's the other way around. I'm usually the boss and he gets to...
what you cooking there?
I'm working on a salad sandwich right now.
Cats are great, but tell us about the food.
Food, yeah. So tomorrow, since I was getting there, sassy britches. So tomorrow is my gift shop day, and one of the things that I've started implementing is what I like to call a hot lunch program. And I don't know about any of you, but when I was a kid and I was in school, my mom would usually pack my lunch, or my dad, or sometimes me. But what was really awesome was when I got hot lunch. And you know, you go through the cafeteria line and you get whatever it is that they're making for hot lunch that day, and they send home a menu of the whole month of hot lunch. Well, I don't send home a menu for the whole month, but I do send out a notice a couple days before, babe? Send out a notice a couple days before about what we're having. And then people can sign up and say, yes, I'm interested in having that, or no, I'll bring something else, or go out and get it. So I'm currently working on a salad type sandwich. And I really like to add extra veggies to my salad sandwiches. So think chicken salad, tuna salad, egg salad. I really like to add extra veggies to mine because I really like veggies. But also it's a good way to use up what you have in the fridge. And it gives you a little bit of extra oomph. And the carrots especially give you that extra crunch, which I very much enjoy. So I'm turning the classic salad sandwich on its head a little bit and mixing it up. And I'll tell you guys how in just another minute or two. Let me finish with these carrots and then the big reveal. So tuna is delicious, and I very much enjoyed eating it. Some people don't like tuna. So, you know, tuna has sort of that pungent odor that is tuna. And egg salad is very time consuming. If you've ever made egg salad, which I have, and I enjoyed it, I know Andy loves egg salad, so sometimes I'll make him an egg salad. But it can be very time consuming because you have to boil the eggs, hard boil the eggs, and you have to crack them and peel them and dice them all up, and it's all very crazy. So that's, you know, very time consuming. Chicken salad can be a little bit more expensive and also time consuming because you either have to buy chicken and then roast it or grill it or prepare it in whatever way, cook it in whatever fashion you prefer, and then you have to wait for it to cool, and then you have to shred it or dice it or whatever. Or you can buy a rotisserie chicken, which is very economical, but then you still have to shred it or cube it or rip it apart and then deal with the chicken carcass. And in my case, you have to, you know, worry about the massive quantity of cats that starts to collect and gather around you in the kitchen. So, you know, those kind of salads can be particular. But one of the things that I love most is to make a chickpea salad sandwich. That is right, you heard me correctly. Chickpea salad sandwich, also known as garbanzo beans. So I have 2 cans of chickpeas here. And what you're making a face?
Oh, I'm trying to get this recipe set up for these guys as quick as possible.
Oh, we're having technical difficulties with the recipe. That's not my end. I'm just the cook. So yeah, that's not my side of things. That's not my department. So I'm flipping things on their head, and I'm gonna do a chickpea salad sandwich. It sounds a little bit weird. I know. I was a little skeptical at first, but it's actually pretty awesome. It's really economical. I mean, a can of chickpeas is like 89 cents at your grocery store, and you can get them anywhere. So I'm going to take my chickpeas, and I'm just gonna drain them, because I don't want that water in there that they use in the can. So I'm going to kind of open my can up, and I'm going to drain my chickpeas and just get rid of that liquid, because I don't want that. At least not for this recipe. I've heard, you know, people use them in vegan cake. I'll be right back. So you can see I'm just kind of draining these off in a mesh sieve. I'm gonna put one container in here. I'll grab my other can. You always want to make sure to check the bottom of the can so that you don't miss anything. And I've got 2 cans of chickpeas here. Now my container is pretty big, but I'm going to make a double batch. I'll do the second batch later on. Mostly because I didn't realize that I was going to need as many cans of chickpeas as I actually do need. So you're thinking, okay, how do you turn this into a weird salad type thing? Well, take my trusty potato masher and I mash my chickpeas. And this is one of those things where, you know, I'm always talking about creating it and making it your own. Plus you get a workout with this. So mash these to your desired consistency. If you like them really kind of smooth, smash them up. Smash and smash and smash. If you like a little bit more of a textural component with your chickpeas, or if you're not sure, you know, experiment. That's the great thing about cooking. In this instance, no matter how you smash the chickpeas, it's not going to change the taste, because it's what you're adding into it that's going to give you your flavor. Now, since I'm going in a more of a, I want to say, chicken salad feel, I'm going to give these a little bit of a lighter smashing. And I'm going to use fresh tarragon in this, and I've got my celery and my carrots. But I've done this before to make it sort of feel like a tuna salad. And so I smash it up really nicely. And then I use chopped up pickles and celery and fresh dill. Oh, it's so good.
Hey, can you make that in the food processor?
You know, you probably could make that in the food processor. I've not tried before, but I don't see why you couldn't. Just make sure not to over process if you don't want it to be too creamy, because we are going to add mayo. So if you want it super, super creamy, then yeah, go ahead and stick it in the food processor and just let it rip. But if you don't want it too creamy, go ahead and just pulse it. Make sure that you're pulsing in your food processor so it doesn't get away from you. You can always, you know, continue to process, but if you've over processed, there's really not much going back unless you add an additional can of chickpeas. But again, that's the beauty of cooking. Not a big deal. If you over process, just run out to the store real quick or shop your pantry if you might have any extra chickpeas. Which reminds me, babe, will you run and check to see if we have any more chickpeas in the pantry, please, so that I don't have to go to the store again? Because I do usually keep them on hand, but...
Chickpeas!
You know, look in the lower section. Those are my baking supplies. Sometimes I have extra stuff on hand.
I have garbanzo beans.
Those are the same things. Garbanzo beans and chickpeas are the same thing. Oh, you could have come around and said hi to everybody and dropped them off.
I will come around in just a minute.
All right. Thanks, babe. He's so handy. I like having him around. All right. So here are my smashed chickpeas / garbanzo beans. And the nice thing about this is you can do different things with this. So, for example, my menu tomorrow is going to be sandwiches. And every time I say that, all I can think of is Frozen, the movie by Disney, which I love dearly. And I love Kristen Bell, so, you know, all I can think of is sandwiches. But in Andy's case, because he has a gluten intolerance, instead of giving him a sandwich, you could do gluten-free bread if you wanted to. I'm going to put his over a nice bed of mixed greens. So, unless he wants to go out and get some gluten-free bread. Do you want, I know you were interested. He mentioned yesterday that he really wanted a sandwich, so.
Ooh, maybe, yes.
I was gonna say I could have gotten you gluten-free bread, but I sort of had tunnel vision at the grocery store. So, if we run out tonight, we'll grab you some gluten-free bread, and you can have a sandwich tomorrow.
Question, does a glass dish have to heat up with the oven, or can it go in a preheated oven?
Are you asking about this recipe specifically, or just in general? Because the question was whether or not a glass dish has to preheat. What was the question? Can you say it again louder, please?
Does a glass dish have to heat up with the oven, or can it go into a preheated oven?
So the general rule of thumb with a glass dish is, if it is frozen, if you're coming from a frozen state, I personally would suggest putting it in the oven while you're preheating. So if you've taken it directly from the freezer, your glass dish, and you're putting it in the oven, go ahead and put that in with your preheating element, because otherwise you have the potential of putting in really cold glass into a hot oven, and you can have combustion, which we have experienced with glass. Andy left one on the
Kaboom!
Yeah, he left my grandmother's Pyrex dish on the burner in our apartment that we moved into when we first moved to Florida, and turned on the burner, and the Pyrex exploded. He did replace the Pyrex, but I was still sad because it was my grandma's.
That was fun.
And it was a mess. So if you're coming from a refrigerated state and putting glass into the oven, I would suggest just pulling it out of the refrigerator and letting it sit on the counter. You're not gonna heat everything, or nothing in your glass container is going to come to room temperature and cause like any food issues from what I've personally learned. So I would go ahead and just pull it out of the refrigerator and let it sit on the counter while you're preheating, and then go ahead and set it in. You should be fine. Those are great questions.
What else is let's see. Be right back. Posting link around. Can you guys? Okay. Thank you, Luana.
What did Luana do?
Oh, she asked people to help me out in the comments because I'm kind of slacking here. I'm not missing anybody's questions. I'm just trying to get this done for you pretty quick.
I don't know. You are kind of a slacker sometimes.
Hey, you know what?
All right, so I'm mashing 3 cans. That might be enough for, I'm trying to remember. I think I have 7 sandwiches. We have Nico. Nico's gonna have lunch with us. And then Jody, Elisa, Bridget and Andy, Christine, and Ashley, intern Ashley. So yeah, 7 sandwiches. That might be enough for 7 sandwiches. But if not, I can always make more. This is a super simple recipe, and the beauty part is I don't have to do anything on the stove. I don't have to heat anything up. This is a great recipe. And you can make this and serve it right away, or you can let it hang out in the fridge for a little bit and get all the flavors to come together. How are we doing on questions, babe?
Well, we have a pretty interesting debate going on right now as to whether a warm dish or a hot dish should go into the oven beforehand.
Okay.
Yes. But I think it's going to be hotly debated for just a little bit here, but nothing yet, so yeah, keep going.
All right. I'm just doing what I learned. So if you have another way, another method that you were taught, go ahead and use that method. I think we always do what we know, not to sound, not in a jerk way. That's not, we just do what we know. But I think, especially when it comes to cooking or being in the kitchen, we tend to move in a way that we're familiar with, if that makes sense. I always lean towards recipes or tactics that I learned. So for example, when I make cornbread, my mom, the recipe my mom uses calls for melted butter. So what I do is, and this is what my mom does, take the butter and put it into my Pyrex dish that I'll be using for my cornbread, put it in the oven while the oven preheats, and that way my butter melts, and I'm getting kind of double duty out of that. So that's just what I know, and that's what I'm comfortable with. And some things that I've read online say if you're pulling a glass dish from the freezer, put it in the oven as the oven preheats, and some have other opinions.
Good question here. Kara Taylor wants to know if we can just come to Utah and cook for her.
Kara, you may have to get in line as far as me coming to your home and cooking for you. I think Bella is desperately trying to get me to come to her house and cook for her. And also, even before Bella, I think the interns are trying to get me to come to intern housing and cook there. So you'll have to get in line. And I've never been to Utah though. Been to Colorado.
Utah's beautiful. Yeah, Utah's gorgeous.
I've been to Colorado before, but I've not been to Utah before. My mom's been to Utah. But yeah, you'll have to get in line after the interns and Bella. I think Bella might fight for it. All right, so I've got my smashed chickpeas, and you can see it kind of looks like a little bit of a paste. And this is kind of the consistency that appeals to me. But again, remember that these recipes are always versatile. They're always about what makes you happy, what ingredients you like. If you don't like carrots and celery, find something else that you like. If you love carrots and celery and you want to add more, add more. There's no wrong way to do this. Now the recipe that we're posting, or will be posting, I don't know.
I'm trying here.
Working on it. Calls for a half a cup of mayonnaise for 2 cans of chickpeas. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I love mayonnaise. I mean, it's delicious. I enjoy it. I think mayonnaise makes sandwiches that much better. So I am a little bit heavier handed in the mayonnaise department than some people. So start with a half a cup, see how you feel. If you want to add more, this is a judgment-free zone.
Can you show the camera a bit more closely for consistency reasons?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit, and you can kind of see here, I have some like super smashed, and then I have some here, I'm going to put my fingers in here because they are clean, and then I have some that are a little bit more kind of whole or halves of chickpeas, but you can kind of see, this is my preferred consistency, and you'll find which consistency you like. Again, when I do tuna, I kind of really smash it up, but I'm going for more of like a chicken type feel, so I'm leaving them a little bit more structurally sound, if you will. All right, so I've got my mayonnaise. Mayonnaise, so good. And I'm adding my carrots and my celery. And I can always add more carrots and celery, which I probably will end up doing because I have celery that I need to use up. I have about 2 more ribs of celery. So let's see what we're working with here. And you want to make sure that your bowl is big enough so your ingredients don't go flinging out and flying across your kitchen. Though it does make for entertaining cooking. It makes for messy cleanup. Except if you have Andy, then again, you don't have to do any cleanup. So I'm just mixing all of these things together. And since I've smashed my chickpeas, I don't really need to worry about their consistency. But I am going to need more mayonnaise, at least for my personal preference. And I'm just adding my veggies now, but there will be additional ingredients I'm gonna add in a minute. So we'll go over those in just a second. You can see I've got a shallot here, which has an onion type flavor, but it isn't as strong in my opinion. And also it's very small, which I enjoy because I don't want a ton of onion, but I want a little bit of onion flavor because I like it. Also, when you're working in the gift shop and you've just had bracingly assertive onions for lunch, you don't want to scare the tour guests away. So I try to keep that in mind when I'm making food. And I don't like an overly strong onion flavor. I just want a little bit in the background. I just want a hint of onion. So I'll show you how I manipulate that to get that onion flavor kind of throughout the dish, but without massive chunks of onion or even little chunks of onion, because I don't like chunks of onion. I just, like I said, I like that onion flavor. Oh, it was hot today at the sanctuary, so I'm gonna just keep drinking water. Sweetie, can I have a little bit more water, please? Sure. I don't need any more ice, but I would love some more water, please. It's getting hot in Florida. I mean, we're talking 90s. I saw the weatherman say something about getting close to 100 soon? Thanks. Thank you.
Oh.
Sorry, that was unintentional. You walked into my elbow.
Beating me up over here.
Also, you have mayonnaise on your shirt. Sorry for that loud crashing noise that you'll be hearing in just a couple seconds. That was Delilah playing in a paper grocery bag.
You know they already heard it, right?
Oh, did they? I didn't. You said it was 20 seconds delay.
Well, yeah, there was the bag crash, and then after the bag crash, he said, in a couple seconds.
Smart Alec. All right, I actually might be okay with this amount of mayo. We'll see. We'll just keep adding things. So, now for my oniony type flavor, I'm gonna set this just to the side so you guys can see it. And then I'm going to prepare my shallot. I need to take the paper off. Do we have any questions, Andy?
No, not right now.
Are we
Looks
still
like,
debating the topic?
Let's see. Kara's blaming her Hispanic grandmother for something. Monica is reminding people to keep certain things G-rated. I think our debate over the warm pan took a
Oh my.
skyrocketed.
Yeah, no, be nice, people. The kitchen is a fun, friendly place. Be nice.
What else we got going on here? Celery smells good. Liz can smell it all the way from there.
Where is Liz smelling the celery from? I'm curious.
I have no idea. And then she'll tell us. And then that looks like it from there. Kathy would like us to send a taste over the internet.
Kathy, when that gets invented, hopefully that's something that Andy or I will have done, and we'll be making jillions of dollars. I don't even think jillions is a real thing, but...
Bajillions.
All right, so this is my secret trick for onions. I like to take the really, really fine portion of my grater, my cheese grater. Mine has 3 sides. I know some people have that 4-sided box grater. I have a 3-sided one. That's what someone gave us when we got married almost 12 years ago. So yikes, I've had this thing 12 years. So I like to use the really fine side of my box grater, and I just like to grate my onion, or my shallot. Really, this is what this is. I like to grate it, and it makes sort of like an onion juice almost. You can use a zester or a microplane. Watch your fingers. I've seen many a contestant on Chopped zesting away, and they zest themselves, and then there's blood all up in their food, which is gross, first and foremost, and secondly, it's quite unsanitary. But then the judges are like, we can't taste your food, and then they're chopped. See, these are the kinds of things I do at home. When I'm not taking care of cats, I watch food shows. Did you guys watch the brunch episode that we posted on our new YouTube channel? If not, I would definitely recommend it. It has a really yummy brunch salad recipe that my aunt makes. Any questions we got going here?
We had one question about what the orange was in the bowl, but...
oh, carrots. It was carrots.
The team of people are on top of it.
Thanks, team.
Oh, I will share the YouTube channel. It's way cool.
Yeah, Andy worked really hard on that, and it's beautiful. I'm super, super thrilled with how it came out, because it's just lovely. All right, so it's not a lot of onion. I'm going to toss this real quick and rinse my hands. Actually, I'm just going to take what I have on my fingers, sort of plop it. Ooh, I got a tiny little cut on my hand. That feels nice from onion juice. Ouchies. See, I want this. So I've got some sort of really yummy onion juice, zest stuff happening here. Not a whole heck of a lot. But I don't want a whole heck of a lot. I just want a little mild onion flavoring. And you could use onion powder in here if you wanted to. I just like the fresh, mild, like very limited amount of flavor of a grated onion. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put this in my bowl of, sorry, someone was calling me, but I don't know who it was. So if you're calling me, I'm sorry. I'm busy right now. I'll call you back later if you leave a message.
All right, everybody, the recipe is coming right now.
Right now.
It's going to be a link. It's going to take you directly to the recipe. It's not quite as cool as I would like it to be previously, but here it is. It's direct download. Nice PDF. Looks like you might have to copy that. Nope, nope. There we go.
All right, so the recipe's up and running?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. So now I'm going to add some fresh herbs. I'm going to go with tarragon because I like the way it tastes. And again, it's sort of, I'm going for a chicken salad kind of feel. If I was doing tuna, I would probably go with like fresh dill. Ooh, or you could go kind of Italian style and do like a basil, a fresh basil, and some tomatoes chopped up in there. That would be delicious. That would be yummy.
Hey, so tough question here. This is probably the hardest one. Who's your favorite cat?
Oh, that is actually a really tough question. My favorite cat was Riza. She wiggled her way into my heart from the jump. And then we lost her, and Seth was kind of my number 2 favorite cat. So I was like, okay, well, I got Seth, and he's gonna make me smile and laugh because he's such a silly ham and he's kind of crazy and nutty. And then we lost Seth. Not to be morbid, but I'm having a hard time filling the hole in my heart. So.
Oh, Mickey.
Oh, Mickey.
Riza was Liz Green's favorite cat too.
Oh, Liz. She just, here, I'm gonna kind of do this. I know I probably shouldn't, but here she is. I had to get her kind of right over my heart because that's where she lives now. But as I'm starting to work with the big cats, the tigers and Nikki, Jasmine is really becoming kind of, she's patching over all those big gaping holes. You know, if we were doing tile, she'd be grouting over the holes in my heart with, you know, patchy grout, because she's really becoming my favorite. She just makes me laugh. Sunday, I don't know if you guys saw, Sunday she tried to spray me. I was helping. Hey lady, how's the chicken? What? What? Ordinarily, if this was tuna, you'd be all up in my business. What are you doing? You can have some tomorrow. Get her. You guys are trouble. Delilah, you're turning Dad into a troublemaker. So Sunday I was cleaning. I had come in to help out because Nikki had had her dental procedure. So I was coming in to help out, and I was doing some cleaning, and I was walking around vacation, and I'll be darned if that girl didn't try to spray me, and she was working hard at it. She's a funny girl, that Jasmine. I really am starting to spend a good amount of time with her and loving it. The other thing she did on on my trip around vacation rotation while cleaning was the side opposite the tunnels, across from the side opposite of Amanda and Sapphire, all the way on the other side of vacation is a drain. It's on the outside of the enclosure, but it's a small drain because we get, like monsoons here, and then vacation turns into its own lake. So we have a drain there, and Jasmine had kind of hung back while we were walking because she likes to play tag with me in her own special way. And she may do this with other keepers, but it's just something I've experienced with her. So she hung back, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I saw her coming, running down the side of the enclosure, and she saw that drain on the other side of the cage wire. And I kid you not, that girl jumped up in the air all four and swung her butt like away into the side, and then sort of shifted her whole body over. It was the funniest thing. She like has mad hop skills. So so she's becoming slowly. She's warming my heart. Not warming my heart, but she's working her way into finding an amazing place in my heart. No one will ever replace Riza. I don't think that can ever happen, at least not for me. And I guess I shouldn't say never, but that girl I loved her. She was something special. But Jasmine really is, she's getting in there. She's creeping in and, finding those gaping holes and helping me kind of heal a little bit. So it's funny. They really do. They know. It's almost like they just know that you need them. I don't need to be sprayed by Jasmine, although she did try multiple times today as well when I was cleaning. I think she tried about 6 times to get me. And again, was almost successful, but I know now to keep an eye on that girl because she's a troublemaker. So, yeah, Jazzy is becoming one of my favorites, and I'm so glad that they're off witness protection now, all 4 of those kids, and we can finally talk about them and share pictures and videos of them, and they can be live on vacation rotation, and Duchess is just loving that lakeside enclosure. Oh!
It's working!
Is the link working?
The link is working.
The link is working, excellent, but that's not what I was excited about.
All right.
I am excited about the link working, but that picture of Jasmine of Duchess up on her hind legs in lakefront property going for the hot wire. She did not break the hot wire. She did not rip it or break it. So I was glad for that because I spent a good chunk of Friday afternoon working on fixing that hot wire and getting it up higher so she can't get to it. So I was quite pleased to hear that she was not successful in her attempts to rip the hot wire down. So yes, Jasmine is kind of becoming my favorite. Duchess is a hot mess, but I love her. She's so freaking cute. And Jinx is just hysterical. And then, of course, Sapphire. She's crazy, but she's so sweet. So, getting back to this recipe here.
Question.
What's that?
How long have you been a keeper?
How long have I been? Let's see. Oh, I think, you know what? I started keeping in March of 2017. No. Yes, 2017. So I spent the first 8 months of my volunteering just in the gift shop helping out. And then I started as a keeper in March of 2017. So I've been a keeper for 2 full years now, and I love it. I like being in the gift shop too. I like giving tours and meeting people and getting to, tell the cat stories and kind of being their voice and reminding people to make the call of the wild and explaining what the call of the wild is, and really kind of getting people involved in how they can help the cats. So I love being on the partner side and being in the gift shop. It is really fun working with Andy. He and I do really well together. And I'm happy to help out anywhere in the sanctuary, anywhere they need me. But I do enjoy giving tours, but I love being a keeper. I do love it. And I've been a keeper for now 2+ years. It was 2 years in March. So. But yeah, it's, I'm so lucky. Not only do I have these amazing cats that I get to share my life with and my time with, but I've made friends from all over the world. I've made friends for life. And I'm so fortunate to have this in my life. I get to, share my life with you guys, our viewers and our fans, our big cat fans. So even though we don't always get to see each other or meet in person, I love being able to share the cats and now my cooking and my love of food with all of you. All right, so I just seasoned with salt. And I'm gonna do some pepper, I like freshly ground pepper, but use what you have. And this is a lot of salad, so I would say I used probably a teaspoon of salt. But use it to taste. So if you are on a low sodium diet, use it sparingly. My father-in-law is on a low sodium diet, so I'm kind of always thinking about that. I always want to kind of keep an eye on, especially when I'm preparing food for him. I kind of like to do a low sodium diet, and I like to do things that are really veggie packed, because veggies are good for you. But, hey babe, will you taste this and tell me what you think? Let me know how the seasoning is, please. If you think it needs more celery or if you think it needs more tarragon. Or more salt.
A little more salt.
A little more salt? How's the tarragon?
Awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, really good.
Sweet. It's not too overpowering?
No.
Okay, because tarragon can overpower if you're not careful. But again, that's a big batch of salad. And I may do even another can and just smash them in this bowl here that I'm not using anymore. And remember, the longer you let this sit, the longer the flavors will start, the more time the flavors will have to kind of come together. So I would say it's probably another 1/4 teaspoon of salt at the most that I just put in. But this makes delicious sandwich. It makes a delicious sandwich, and it's nice because, with your tuna or your eggs or your chicken, you kind of have to use it in a very limited amount of time before it starts to go bad. This is nice because you have a little bit more wiggle room as far as before you have to use it up and it goes bad. But this is so good. It makes a really yummy sandwich. I like to make mine with like really yummy grainy bread, and then I layer some greens down, and I really like tomatoes, so I do tomato and I do some cucumber slices. Oh, so good, so good. And because I'm a vegan, when I make this tuna style and I do the dill and the pickles and the celery, I like to take some Worcestershire sauce. They make a vegan Worcestershire that doesn't have fish in it, which is really tasty. But I like to do some Worcestershire sauce and like splash that over the top and smash it into a delicious salad. Oh my gosh, it is so good. Andy likes to use our classic, like Leah and Perrin's Worcestershire when I make this, and he does a delicious kind of tuna fake out sandwich on gluten-free bread for him, of course. But yeah, so this kind of is going to hang out. And what I'll do tomorrow morning when I get up before I go to Big Cat is I'll make sandwiches then. And I will layer my greens and then everything in the middle so my bread doesn't get soggy. That's sort of my trick, if you will, to keep my bread from getting soggy if I make a sandwich in advance. But this can hang out in the fridge for a day or 2 days or 3 days or 4 days. And you can kind of make your sandwiches or your salads as you go. It's really nice. And then it's so convenient, and it's really financially conscious. I mean, again, like a can of chickpeas is 89 cents. And it makes a good amount of food, and it's good for you. I mean, I know that that's not always why we eat food. It's not why I always eat food. I don't eat food just because it's good for me. I like it because it tastes good. But this is kind of going to be where I open up the floor for any more questions that anybody has. But this is really simple. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, that's a good one. So Luana had one from Asher. She said, can you use this inside of a burrito?
Ooh, like a heated burrito?
Sounds killer.
Or just a wrap? Because if it's just a wrap, totally. That sounds really good. I had not thought of that before. But inside of like a heated burrito, I've never tried it before, but give it a whirl. See what you think. I mean, I would try it with one and then let us know if you've experimented with your food, because that's the best way to learn, is to check it out. I've never tried it before. I didn't even think about it. But yeah, if you want to do it like a cold wrap, definitely. That sounds great.
All right, let's see what else we got here. We have, can we see the other kitty? Yes, I will bring it in just again.
Joy.
And then, so do you make your own mayo?
I do not make my own mayo. I don't really have time for that, to be honest. Someday I would love to be able to make my own mayonnaise, but I do not. I do not make my own mayonnaise. I buy it from the store because I'm a busy gal, and honestly, I've never even tried, to be completely honest. I've never tried making my own mayonnaise. But I usually just buy my mayonnaise from the store. So I've not tried it before. But I've seen it done, and it looks amazing. But no, I sadly, I've never, that's the one of the culinary things that I've not done before is make my own mayonnaise. I've never made my own pasta before either, which I would like to learn how to do someday, but I've not learned that either. I've not learned the mastering of the pasta or the mayonnaise. Any other questions we got going on here, babe?
Let me see. Can we see the? Okay, I'm gonna do that. Yes. Do they make a vegan mayonnaise?
Oh yes, vegan mayonnaise, which is what I'm using currently because I'm gonna eat this sandwich too. Yes, they make a couple different brands of vegan mayonnaise. There's one called Veganaise. There is a brand called Just Mayo, which I think they sell at Walmart. And then Hellman's, actually. Hey, Nugget! What's going on? Did Dad interrupt your outside time? She doesn't actually go outside, but we have a screened lanai.
She's like, don't hold me any longer. I was napping and I was peaceful.
Oh, Dad woke you up?
I'm gonna yell at you in a minute.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get in trouble later. What was I saying? Oh, vegan. Hellman's actually makes a vegan mayonnaise now. So a lot of bigger names are starting to realize that being a vegan isn't necessarily a trend, that there are a lot of people that have to be vegan for health reasons or dietary issues or digestion issues. So some of them are really kind of jumping on the vegan wagon, not to say that it's a trend again, but yeah, Hellmann's is making a vegan mayonnaise. There's a lot of different brands now that are coming up with a vegan mayonnaise. If you have a soy allergy or aversion, or if you can't consume soy for health reasons, try the Just Mayo. They're a soy-free brand. The Veganaise, I think, has soy in it. And I know that the Hellmann's has soy in it.
What types of appliances do you like to use in your day-to-day cooking?
Ooh, so again, I'm not sponsored by this brand, but this guy back here is my June. It's a toaster oven, but it's like a toaster oven that has like technology like nobody's business. It's got cameras inside and it's got its own app. So I use the June pretty much all the time. Sometimes I can use the June every day, multiple times a day. I do use my oven when I'm cooking a lot of food. Like at the holidays, holy fish sticks. I use like at Thanksgiving, when we host Thanksgiving for volunteers and interns who don't have family nearby. We've done that we've done the 3 Thanksgivings in a row now. So on Thanksgiving, I'll have the June going, and I have a double oven, which Andy and I picked up a couple years ago, and I love it. So I'll have both ovens going, the June going, and then my stovetop. But I use the June and the stovetop most regularly, I would say. And my teapot for tea. But I've been using the Keurig a lot more lately because it's fast and easy, and I don't have to heat up an entire kettle of water to have tea that I then turn into iced tea, because in case you didn't know, Florida is hot. So anytime I can avoid heating the house, especially in the summer months, I try to, which is one of the reasons that I got the June, because holy fish sticks, that thing can cook. I can put an entire, I made a chocolate cake. I'm going to turn it to an Oreo poke cake later. But I stuck that bad boy in June, and 350 degrees for 25 minutes. It's like it wasn't even on. It's one of my favorite appliances ever. Truly. It was the most expensive kitchen appliance I've ever purchased. Fortunately, they have a payment plan. But I use it on the daily. So yeah, that's my favorite appliance. Any other questions?
No. You talked about your YouTube page a little bit. Got the webpage up and running.
Yep, we've got a web page now. Oh, someone had asked last time we did a live about our webpage. I can't remember who it was now. I'm so sorry. That was 2 weeks ago when we did the pasta salad and veggie wraps. Someone had asked about that, about our webpage that night. And I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. But we have a webpage now. It's chickenandnugget.com.
Hey, does the June hold full-size pans?
It holds a 9 by 13 inch pan. It holds a full-size muffin pan, the one on the upper. Yeah, will you grab that muffin tin for me? And that pan, yeah. So yeah, it does this size, the 9 by 13, and it does this size, and it does do a low and slow option. So I think you can use a Dutch oven. You just have to determine what size it is, which they specify on their website. But yes, you can. It does do full-sized cooking. I've made that ratatouille that I made a few weeks ago. I put that in my June. That was in a 9 by 13 inch Pyrex dish, glass Pyrex. And I did that in the June. So it does hold full size. It's only one, you can only, so I'll open it up here. It's messy, I'm sorry. I use it every day. So you can only do one thing. It's not like you can stack it and do one on top and one on the bottom. There's not enough room for that. But if you're someone who's making a dozen muffins or a batch of brownies or, you know, a massive quantity of ratatouille, this will do that for you. Again, mine's a hot mess. I need to clean it. I just haven't had time. But it does, you know, it toasts bagels, bread. It reheats things. Let's see what else it does. Yeah, it has a slow cook option here. It has programs so I can tell it what I'm cooking. What else does it have?
It cooks the world.
Broil, toast, air fry. It has an air fry option for the people who are interested in air frying. I haven't done that yet. It has a dehydrate option, so if you like to dry your own fruits, vegetables, jerky, reheat, keep warm, and then it's connected to Whole Foods, so I think some of the Whole Foods food. See, there you go.
Potato.
It has a camera inside. I know I don't know why I sound like I'm trying to sell you on
June's.
it. I know I sound like I work for them. I don't, but I love this product. Yeah. So that's my favorite appliance in the kitchen. Hi, baby girl. Are you helping mom? Joy is now under my feet. So
what's up next?
excuse me?
So what's up next year?
Oh. This is it. I'm going to pop this in the fridge, and I'm going to, tomorrow morning I'm going to make sandwiches. But other than that, that's it. So.
Oh, where will we be on Tuesday?
Where will we be on Tuesday?
The Big Cat.
I'm going to be
cooking at Big Cat?
Oh! Yes, sorry. Tuesday night.
I'm getting the beer.
Tuesday night,
I'm
I'm going to do a live cooking show at Big Cat Rescue. So tune in Tuesday night. It'll be 7:30 Eastern time is when we'll get started. So yeah, we'll be doing a live with interns and volunteers. It'll be a great time. We're going to be doing some of that. Oh my, there was a little disagreement.
Keep the peace.
There's a disagreement happening here. But yeah, that's about it. That's. I'm gonna pop this in the fridge, let this hang out until tomorrow morning. I'll make some sandwiches for the people who signed up for the hot lunch program, and then we'll stack it all together, and they'll get some of that cake, which I'm excited about. I'll take pictures of that. Andy will probably snap some photos of me working on it, and then a side of green beans. That's my plan for the day. So sandwich, green beans, and some cake for lunch tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going to stick this in the fridge, let it hang out overnight, make some sandwiches, and that's going to be that. So don't forget to like our Facebook page and follow us. And then, of course, we do have the website up now, chickenandnugget.com. There's really not a lot on there yet, but we're working on building it. It takes time. And we've got our YouTube channel. So any last questions before we head out?
Let's see. Tuesday cooking at Big Cat Rescue. Will we get to see and hang out with all the keepers?
Not all the keepers.
And hang out with keepers and interns. No.
Oh, yeah. There will be volunteers, keepers, interns. Some staff will probably be there. So yeah, there'll be some people there. I don't know who has signed up yet, but there's definitely going to be people checking in and hanging out, and some of them will be interested in being on the camera. Some of them will probably not be interested in being on the camera. So we'll see how that goes.
Lawan had one really good question about the food. Does it sit in the fridge overnight? How long will it last?
So as far as this lasting, you could serve that. Like you could serve this right now. Andy tried it. It's ready to go. I'm gonna put this in the fridge overnight. But if you want to, you could start. You could start portioning it out. It's not going to freeze well because of the mayo, But yeah, you can start, you can sit this in the fridge and it'll last you a couple of days. So if you're really busy and you're like, oh, I gotta do this, you make up a batch, you eat it until it's gone, and then you quick make up another batch. I mean, this took me an hour, but I was doing a lot of talking. So if I really kind of focused in on it and just, had the tunnel vision, this could easily take you 15 to 30 minutes to whip up and put together. It's really simple.
One quick question about cats.
Which cats? Our cats or big cats?
Big cats. How is Hoover? How is Nikita?
Hoovy is doing well. He is very enamored with Amanda. I know someone is trying to match make Duchess and Hoover, but he is really interested in that girl next door kind of thing that she's got going on. Personality-wise, she's not the girl next door, but to him, oh yeah, he wants to know who that girl is. So he's been scoping out that girl next door. He seems to be doing well. And then I saw Nikki this morning. I cleaned for her. She seems to be doing okay. She was kind of laying there looking at me, and I told her to get out of the sunshine because she was laying in direct sun. And surprisingly, she listened. So she got up and moved into the shady part back in the back section of her enclosure. She seems to be doing pretty well. So I think she's still kind of, it takes us a little bit to recover, especially when we're a little bit older. So she's still, I think she's almost there. I would say she's almost there. But she looked at me and we chatted for a couple minutes, and then she listened to me when I told her to get up and move out of the sunshine because it was going to be hot. And so she did. She hung out in the shady section of her enclosure. Anything else?
Does the flavor enhance overnight in the fridge?
Yeah, the flavors will, become stronger and more, I don't want to say potent, but they will become stronger as the mixture sits. So this is perfect just as it is now, but tomorrow it'll taste even, more together. It'll taste better, and the flavors will meld. That's a technical kitchen term.
And back to a big cat question, since you're here, is Nikita taking her meds okay?
I don't know how Nikita is taking her meds. I'm not feeding the cats yet, so I don't know how she's doing with that. I was not on the feeding routes this morning at all, and I'm not feeding big cats yet, so I don't know. I haven't heard that she's not taking them, but I also haven't heard that she is taking them.
I think Carol mentioned something in her daily report.
Oh, okay. Carol may have mentioned it.
She might.
Okay. Check the Wildcat Walkabout Facebook page. I know that Carol posts daily kind of updates at the end of the day, usually. But I haven't heard anything. So typically, if you haven't heard anything, this is kind of how it goes. No news is good news as far as the keeper side of things. If you haven't heard anything, then usually everything's fine. But I think she might be doing it. It might just take her a little bit of adjustment period to get used to having to take meds. But she was on supplements. She got supplements before. Actually, Andy and I did supplements together this morning. We got in early and I got started on supplements. So I did Nikki's supplements, and all three of the cubs get supplements, and Pharaoh gets supplements. So we did that this morning. But I'm not sure what her meds are. You have to have special training for meds, and I'm not there yet. I have to start just getting my sign-offs for cleaning, and then getting my sign-offs for feeding, and then you kind of graduate into the meds category as well. But I think that takes a couple years. So. And
Bella Rourke is a little late for the party here. She just wants to know how you're doing.
Hey Bella, welcome. I'm doing pretty well. I'm tired. I'm a little dehydrated because it was hot today, and I'm telling you that Jasmine girl, she is really wanting to spray me. She wants to claim me, so I'm trying to stay on my toes with her. But I'm doing okay. Tomorrow's hot lunch at the gift shop is a smashed chickpea tarragon salad sandwich, which you can kind of catch the recipe on our website on Chicken and Nugget. and I'm gonna do some green beans, some fresh green beans, and I'm gonna do an Oreo poke cake. So I made my cake, which I showed you guys earlier, and I'm gonna take the back end of a spoon and poke holes in it, and then fill it with cookies and cream pudding, and then take some Oreo cookies and smash them up and sprinkle those over the top. So.
Luana wants you to explain, what is a sign-off?
Oh, a sign-off. I'm sorry. Yes, I realize that probably not everybody knows what a sign-off is. So when you are, hang on a second. Just give me a second. Here, baby.
Yes!
I'm done with this, so I'm going to cover it and put it in the fridge in a minute. But, hang on one second. So a sign-off is anytime you are being trained on something in the big cat rescue world. So for Andy this morning, he got a sign-off. This morning, I got a sign-off. It means that a senior keeper or partners are the ones that stay only on the gift shop, and keepers are the ones that are on the keeper side. They pick up the poop, for lack of a better terminology. So your senior level or your upper level or someone who's been there someone who's more advanced than you or has a longer tenure. They have to be a higher level than you or the same level but have been there longer. What they'll do is they'll go with you on whatever project or assignment it is that you've been given. They'll work with you and observe how you do your job. And then they'll give you a sign-off if you've done it well enough. If you haven't, they will require you to get additional sign-offs. So for example, this morning when Andy gave his speaking portion of the feeding tour, Miss Sharon, she's a wonderful green shirt. I love her dearly. She was the feeder. She went around and fed the cats, and Andy talked while she was feeding. She observed and listened to what he had to say. She made notes, mental notes, if she needed to tell him, hey, this isn't the right fact, or this isn't, the correct cat gender. Not saying that that's what happened, but then she'll go ahead and say, you did a great job, or I think you need more work, and then she would sign him off. This morning, I was getting a sign-off on keeping, which means Mary Lou, our Navy shirt, one of our master keepers, she came with me and she observed me cleaning the cat's lockouts, picking up poop, that kind of thing, making sure I'm following all the safety protocols, especially when you get to massively huge cats, making sure you're following safety protocols, and then you also get, your sign off that way. But that's what a sign-off is at Big Cat Rescue. Then you get signed off, and you have a certain number of sign-offs that you have to get in order to kind of pass that section. So for me, there's outback, there's tigers and lions, there's leopards, and then there's quarantine cats. So you have to get all your sign-offs, a certain number of sign-offs in each section. Andy just stepped away from the computer for 1 second. I'm not sure. Oh, everything okay?
That was good.
I wasn't sure if there were any other questions. I talked a lot about sign-offs. I went on quite a bit.
Let's see. Christy, since you're on topic of Big Cat still, are there any updates on Sky and family?
Oh, yes. What I heard this morning was that Sky has been kind of coming and going from the den. Those are just raw chickpeas, right? They don't have any mayonnaise or...
Dream Crusher.
I'm just saying. Sky has been coming and going from the den, from what I've heard. And she's probably looking for a new den to move the kids to, but she's probably also hunting. So that's kind of the only update I have on Sky. Do we have any other questions, big cat or kitchen/food related?
No, looks good.
Okay.
Looks good.
All right. So if you guys are available Tuesday night and you want to join us, we're going to be live at Big Cat Rescue doing another cooking class for volunteers, interns, staff, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I will create an event so people can be reminded.
Oh, great.
Of what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, follow us and like us on Facebook, and that'll get you all the up-to-date information about what's going on with any other class. Any other classes, demos, anything. Being uploaded to the website, YouTube page, that kind of thing. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and write on our wall. Sometimes if you comment on the video after it's over, the live video, sometimes I miss those. So if I do, I'm sorry. I try to answer any questions that might be coming after the video. But if you have a question, go ahead and write on our wall or send a message. You can also email us. What's my email again?
Bridget@chickenandnugget.com.
Bridget@chickenandnugget.com. You can email us there. And I'll be happy to answer any questions to the best of my abilities that way. But, yeah. Otherwise, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Hopefully there's no more snow in the forecast for any of my northern states. Because, it's May, but it's never stopped Mother Nature before. So, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I look forward to sharing Tuesday night with you all and hanging out with you guys at Big Cat Rescue via the internet and Facebook. So, anything else before we're done?
No, that's it.
We're good? All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you Tuesday night. Bye now.